Hello everyone. Brr. I did a video yesterday, doing one today. So I get up and Wayne goes, whew. He goes, it's warmer today. I'm like, great. Like that. I like cold, but yesterday was a bit too brisk. Yesterday was -3 degrees, so I was looking forward to it being a little bit warmer. So here I am, out in my Jeep, and you can hear me barely getting through the ice here, or snow. It's not icy. It's -2. It's 1 degree warmer. Okay, technically. Ooh. Put on that defrost. Hold on. We scraped it, but it's still a little icy. Yeah, so technically I guess it is warmer. It's 1 degree warmer. Welcome to Colorado. This, I guess, is typical now, Colorado winters. It hasn't been that cold. I like the cold, though. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather be in -2 than the 98 degrees in Florida where you're sticking to the seat. Though I do miss Florida. Not the weather. I miss the people and the electricities, that sort of thing. And that kind of way, Colorado's kind of normal. Like, the people here are really normal. I feel bad for the people who live in that corner of the neighborhood where it just tried to reconnect to my cell phone, because there's like a dead cell spot right in the middle of my neighborhood. What do people do that live there? Woof. This is chilly weather. But what I wanted to talk about some more was the secret list thing from last night. I did a whole long video on that last night. Now, the funny thing is on this, it's always funny where sometimes truth comes from. Isn't that funny? On this particular issue, Richard Longstreth is right. And I don't say that very much. I say Aaron Adams is right way more than I say Richard Longstreth is right. When you've let a secret list go for a year, and I'm convinced, Ned Kelly, if you're watching, I'm convinced you're right. Like, while I have my concerns with my safety concerns and all of that, none of this is about my emails. Anything they wanted to say about me or release about me, they've done that already. They had to do that in their bogus removal motion. This isn't about me. They think they have something on Joshua. That's what this is about. I'm convinced of it now. I'm wondering why now. Anything about me, anyone knows. Like, this is about Joshua. But anyway, I have a feeling Richard might have said something on these lists he don't really want out either, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But Richard is the one who's right here. Richard is saying people, whether or not they should have been, people have been posting on this. Yeah, Ned's there. It's funny, like Bloody Mary, you show up. This, I'm convinced you're right. This is about Joshua. Because there ain't shit they could say about me that hasn't already been said. Oh, I got upset at people telling them they were burying New Hampshire. That's news, right? But let me tell you one thing that is news, though. That because I still have a couple of those email chains. Now, I don't have access to, obviously, my national secretary email anymore, but some of those emails, because I either needed to think about them, I needed to print them out, I forwarded to my regular account, or I've downloaded because, you know, it dealt with my defense. I forgot about this. Here's something interesting. Not that this will have anything to do with Reno or anything like that. When I first said I was going to record those interviews in New Hampshire, if you guys remember publicly, John Phillips and Aaron Adams and all them, they threw a public fit saying how I was going rogue and doing these independent interviews. I forgot. In the secret list, John Phillips was all for it. John Phillips was saying how much he trusted me and how he knew I was doing the right thing. Oh my God. The difference between the public John Phillips and the private John Phillips, what a difference. He was much better in private than he was in public. Let's just put it that way. But that's all water under the bridge. This is about Joshua. But I want to go back to why Richard is right. Whether or not you should have been posting to that secret list, which you shouldn't have been. And I've been saying that for a year, and they could have solved this a year ago, and they refused to. After allowing people to do it for a year, they've been putting things on there that aren't smoking guns about anything. But they don't qualify for executive session, but they've been putting things about their families, you know, they've been putting things about sadness, about death of family members and things like that, because I know the type of stuff that was going on that list. They put a lot of just personal stuff on there. Nothing damning, just things that you would say amongst friends. And when you allow people to do that, and you don't do anything for about a year, I do think it's an invasion of privacy to just say, you're going to just go and release it all. None of this has anything to do with me. We're talking about what I'm guessing has happened since September. And don't get me wrong, I want to see how they justified keeping their discussions about my appeal secret, because none of that qualified for secret session. But no matter how much I'm dying to see that and how much I could use that in Reno, I think Richard is absolutely right where he said that this information should be released. He didn't say this part. I'm going to say this part. It needs to be reviewed and redacted by an investigatory committee. Otherwise, you have the LNC investigating the LNC. And that is so fucking irresponsible. And if things are redacted, they need to be done like they are in a legal context. Those of you who aren't in a legal context, when you get a request for production from opposing counsel, not everything is called discoverable. There's like attorney-client privilege and things like that get redacted. And what you do when you redact things is you produce something called a privilege log, in which each of the pages of discovery get what's called bait stamped. It just means it has a number along the bottom, like a page number of a master document. And in the privilege log, you put your bait stamp number, you put the date of the communication, and you put the reason why it was redacted and a general description of the subject matter. So this is what needs to be done with this year's worth of allegedly private emails. An independent committee should be appointed that we can trust with NDAs, that will then redact and provide a privilege log. My windows are freezing up again. I'm going to need to pull over and scrape these again. That will redact and provide a privilege log. That's what we need to do here. We cannot trust the executive committee, who are the subject of ethics complaints about this very same list. That is no different than cops investigating the cops. I don't see how Aaron doesn't see this. But what Richard said that was right is that, and it should be released after the term of this LNC, so that no one is using this for political posturing. And if there is things in there that are of a private family nature, that it's just not made political fodder or like used for gossip right now in the middle of a lot of party turmoil, it's just not the right thing to do. I think Richard is absolutely right in this point. But other than that, you know, wow, there's some slippery intersections here. Other than that, I don't think he's, you know, well, no, on this, I think Richard is right about everything. So, yeah. I need to re-scrape my window. No, that's not a place to turn over. So, yeah. So that's where I am at on that. And it looks like the roads are getting a bit icier as we're coming out of the neighborhoods here where things have been well maintained. So I'm gonna go to drive safely because everything was cool until I'm saying I'm looking up the road a little bit. But that's where we're at. I would love to hear your thoughts. See y'all later. Bye-bye. It's not letting me finish.